Foundation's YouTube series, Access to Justice. Access to Justice airs a new episode each month and facilitates critical discussions in resolving disputes. I am Kalisia Findley, and appearing with me,
Gloria Brown.
And we are partners in the law firm Brown, Findley and Company, where we specialize in land and estate matters as well as dispute resolution. But before we get to the topic at hand, I should say, please feel free to like, subscribe to the Dispute Resolution Foundation's YouTube page, send a comment, let us know your feedback. Our topic today will be the issue of Dead Leff and its effect on negative outcomes in Jamaica. Gloria, would you say that there is a reasonable connection between Dead Leff and crime in Jamaica?
Without a doubt, Kalisia. You just have to listen to the news daily and recognize the challenges that we have when it comes to dead leff as a people. And it has historical context, because we need to recognize that when our ancestors, the majority of our ancestors came from Africa, they came with nothing. In 1838, when they left the plantation, they were given no land. They were let off the plantation like animals. So because of that, land is such an important issue to Jamaicans, that Jamaicans, when you have a piece of this rock, you deal with it differently. So, which is why we have this constant conflict when it comes to dead leff.
Certainly. As Jamaicans, we are passionate people. We're passionate about our food, our athletes, and certainly our land. And as we see in our offices every day, the passion that comes up in land matters, especially when people die without a will and when their estate matters are not properly resolved.
So why do you think, Kalisia, that persons are reluctant to make wills?
As Jamaicans, we're superstitious people. We all know someone who said they're not making a will because if they make a will, they're going to die. Also, many people believe that making a will is expensive. That is not the case. And quite often too, you have a lot of people who say, I don't have anything to will. It doesn't make sense for me to make a will. And also persons who say, well, I don't have anybody to leave anything to, so I'm not going to make a will. So those are the reasons we see all the time as to why persons say they're not going to make a will.
But in terms of dispute resolution, Kalisia, you talk about making the will. Do you think, though, that we could look at dispute resolution in terms of even before making the will to get some? Because the reality is that many times we are aware of the conflict before we make the will.
Certainly. And in our office and with dispute resolution processes, what we want to have happen is for people to be proactive instead of being reactive. Don't wait until the problem arises before trying to resolve it.
Certainly, I agree. And another thing that we need persons to recognize in relation to making wills, Kalisia, is that as soon as you reach the age of 18, you should write a will. And many persons will say, I have nothing to leave, but even write, I leave all I have to my parents, get it signed, follow the formalities, but we need to know that. Also, you don't have to have any special social standing or economic standing to make a will. We need to have a will culture in Jamaica.
And as attorneys, of course, we would advise persons to seek legal advice when making a will. But it is absolutely not mandatory for an attorney to make a will. You can make a will on your own. You can buy a will form in any bookstore or pharmacy, and the will forms are quite easy to use. And you don't even have to use a will form. You can use any old piece of paper that you have lying at home. As long as you're over 18 and you have two persons who can witness your will, when you do a will, it avoids so many issues.
I remember, Kalisia, in law school, there was an old English case about a man who made his will and wrote it on the back of a cup because he was out in the field, but that's all he had. And the court said it was a valid will.
And if only, and what I want a lot of people taking away from today is that, as again, I can't emphasize this enough, is to be proactive. We see it happening all the time. We turn on the news every night and we hear stories, sad stories, tragedies, families dissolving into chaos. And when you think about it, when you do the investigations, why? It's because there's some dead leff matters. So what we want to achieve today is for persons to realize that, again, they need to make their wills to avoid disputes.
So, Kalisia, what's the best alternative dispute resolution that people can make in relation to dead leff land?
First, they can go to the Dispute Resolution Foundation. Dispute Resolution Foundation provides a variety of processes in resolving disputes. The main one that comes to mind is mediation, and the beauty of mediation is where you have parties who have a disagreement, they go before a mediator. The mediator is an impartial party who assists parties in resolving their disputes. Unlike a judge, the mediator is going to say, you must do this, you are guilty, you are not guilty. The mediator guides your negotiations and helps you to come up with a resolution on your own. And with mediation, it is flexible, it is creative. So we have to encourage persons not only to get into the habit of making wills, but to get into the habit of effectively resolving their disputes through the use of the Dispute Resolution Foundation.
And the reality is, Kalisia, is that most times the parents, they know already that two children cannot get on, so they are aware that there's going to be a potential conflict even after that. So we are thinking that this is something that person should know, that Dispute Resolution Foundation can assist you even in resolving the problem before it even starts.
Certainly, persons can approach the Dispute Resolution Foundation before the problem starts, while the problem is ongoing, and even after the fact. The Dispute Resolution Foundation is all-encompassing.
So how do we think this would help with this Dead Leff issue? Do you think that if the Dispute Resolution Foundation, if persons were more aware of the value of this foundation, of the services provided, that we could help to solve many of these Dead Leff issues?
Certainly. And again, we encourage all of you watching to subscribe to the Dispute Resolution Foundation YouTube channel. You can visit their website, go to their office. They're quite available.
And what a part of the problem we're having in Kalisia, I'm recognizing that when it comes to Dead Leff, a lot of times it's reality versus expectation. I expect that when my mother died, this is going to be mine. But the reality is that because she did not make a will, this is not mine. It's for all of my brothers and sisters, plus her husband, who is not my father.
And another issue we see often in families is secrecy. Someone may very well have a will, but what's the point in having a will when nobody knows you have a will? What's the point in making a will when you hide it under the mattress? And all of that leads to confusion, chaos, and unfortunately violence.
Yes. So what are we saying to our listeners today?
Again, be proactive. Make your wills. As I tell my clients all the time, you have nothing to lose. What will it cost you to make a will? You have absolutely nothing to lose.
I find that making a will is like salvation in Kalisia. We all plan to be saved, but not today.
Certainly.
We all plan to make the wills, but not today. And not many of us will benefit from lying down in a sick bed for years. And
yes.
you know about some of the problems we've had.
So many times you and I have both been called to people's deathbeds in the hospitals or at home to rush to their bedside to make a will. And unfortunately, it happened to me just the other day. Went to a friend's mother's bedside and she was so incoherent, she wasn't able to make the will. And people come to the realization that yes, they need a will, but unfortunately sometimes it's too late.
Well, from my experiences, when we see and know, well, most time them fight. Want to kill them one another feet.
In Jamaica, Uncle Dead Leff was the worst. In terms of body, you understand? War and argument and everything, violence. Them the people you know. When me, you know about our country and Dead Leff, and that we want, you know. You say anything them Dead Leff, and that we want, you know. So you know what now? We worship Dead Leff more than we worship ourselves because make it in our life. We can Dead Leff something too. You get what I say? Yep. So right now, some killing we see go on and Dead Leff cause it. You get what I say? Some type of chop up body you see and people going to people out and Dead Leff cause it because Auntie Jane get the house and father likes that and Pam decides that she wants it too.
It never end well. As the people then dead before they reach in public, they are war for who forget this and who forget that.
Very serious, very serious matter like.
Yeah, of course. Why? Because when I talk about the rich people, when I talk about the poor people, them know. The poor people them have money to make will. You understand? Them did not consider that to make a will. Them just know that them have something on them, they let me get them pick and them picking them and go come take it. But most of all are the family them. Pick them now take it, you know, and the female relative them and come fight over it.
Yes, especially in Jamaica, because a lot of people that died don't left a will. So it cause combo low and it cause all type of rigorous happening. That do happen. Yes, violence. People died as a result of that. Yes.
Yeah, I think it's very serious because sometimes you dead left asset and you don't make a will. And who forget the things them, not get it. And it bring beer war, can lead to death.
As I said before, I don't have a will right now, but I'm thinking of it. I'm going to have to get one. Because I have 4 children. I don't want to die and because any situation.
When I get rich, when I get rich, I'm going to make my will.
Personally, I don't know about it. Yeah, I was saying assets. I keep saying assets in our lives. So I apply a will for who and who single children. You know, so we have to have the children and all that, you know.
No.
Why you not have a will? What can make it feel different?
You know, say, other big man not still. I don't feel like I make a will still, you see? Because I'm insured. And my 3 kids them, when I have here in Jamaica, they're on my will, on my insurance. So I'm sure they're going to get something because them name they on it. So
I would suggest to the persons, they reach certain age, they have certain position, I would suggest you make a will.
Right. My recommendation is that any age you be, I have something, write it down on paper. So even if you go left it at your lawyer house or something, make it up on paper because when you're dead, everybody come, everybody will not even use the link with you, come and they want to take over. So who you really left it for, might not get nothing.
Mediation for Dead Leff because they resolve the problem like I said before. And like everybody still have a level situation, you know. Everybody still have hearing needs, person have a sense, and all of that.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend mediation, for situations like that. Yes.
A man told me some years ago, a short pen is better than a long memory. Write it down. Where people of oral tradition, we talk a lot, but we're not committed to writing. And you know the people who come into the office daily. My mother gave me the title before she died, so the land is mine. It doesn't work like that.
Or my mother said that piece of land over there is yours, but that's not valid. It has to be in writing. You have to do your will.
Hence the disputes, because the reality and the expectation will not coincide. So again, we encourage persons, dispute resolution foundation.
Thank you again for tuning in to another episode. Remember to like and subscribe to the Dispute Resolution Foundation's page. This has been Access to Justice, and you've been your host for today, Kalisia, Findley, appearing alongside
Gloria.
Thanks again for tuning in.